All rise. Case number CV25-3, the state of Karnataka. This is Arjun Krishna. The state represented by Vinay Roy, the accused represented by Advika.
A new book called Veracity Chapter 1, written by the renowned crime author Arjun Krishna, was published recently. Although his fans were excited for this book at the time of its announcement, it has caused a stir among the public. The novel follows the life of a young and bold woman named Janaki, whose life gets turned upside down after she gets assaulted by some men while she's returning to her home at night. But the problem with it is of how graphically the rape incident was written. The public has been unsettled and completely against such writing. A case has been filed against Arjun by the government in the district court. Stay tuned for more updates on the case.
The prosecution may start.
Your Honor, the accused Arjun over here has written a book called Veracity. The book revolves around the life of a young woman. But the problem with the book lies in a particular part in page number 317, where she gets raped. The rape has been written in a very, very detailed manner. What kind of a person would be able to think of a woman in such a way?
Objection, Your Honor. This is a character assassination of my client. He is being wrongly accused. Anyone who reads this book will know that it is written from the perspective of a strong woman who stands up for herself even after so much. How come no one's taking this into consideration and only focusing on the one page out of the 500 plus pages of the book?
One page. The youth of our nation is already drifting apart from the cultural norms set by our ancestors. And rape is a very sensitive topic. How could someone write about it in such a detailed manner? All that I can think of is Arjun is a person who is very interested or experienced.
Objection, Your Honor. This is the second time the prosecution is assassinating my client's character, and this should be condemned by the court. As far as the youth is concerned, they must be educated about the opposite gender. Sexual education should be introduced in schools. It is the lack of knowledge and education that leads to more rape cases and sexual assault cases. And merely banning a book that addresses the same issue does not solve the problem.
Your Honor, let me ask you something. You have a daughter, right? So, what if, God forbid, something like this happens to your daughter and someone writes about it in such a way that it keeps reminding her about it over and over again?
Objection, Your Honor. Personal elements should not be included to influence this case.
Court orders the prosecution to refrain from doing it again, and it must be struck out from the record.
My apologies, Your Honor. Now, I would like to ask some questions to Arjun. So, Mr. Arjun, could you please tell us about your inspiration to write this book? Or, well, what was your thought process while writing the book, particularly the rape scene?
My main motive of the story was to bring out the struggles of women and children. The rape scene was written based on true incidents that have taken place in our country in recent times.
And what is this with Chapter 1? Is this book the beginning of a series of your fantasies?
This was a beginning to a new series which is focused on bold and brave characters in adverse situations. And what is this that you continuously portray me as a lustful person?
Okay, Arjun, relax. I didn't mean to anger you, but at this point, the whole of India sees you as such. Anyways, what has made you to shift to this type of writing, which is much more graphic and much more gore from your previous work?
I have just written this story based on the facts and incidents that have taken place recently in our country. My story is not gory, it's just real.
Your Honor, even though Arjun thinks that his book is not gore and graphic, the state disagrees and requests the court to ban this book on the grounds of public safety.
Your Honor, we request the court for some more time Meanwhile, we also request the court to read the book for better judgment.
The next hearing will be set 19/7/25. The defense may start.
Your Honor, we request you to dismiss the appeal for banning the book on the grounds of public safety.
Do you have any basis or precedent?
If you take a look at the Ramesh Thapar versus the State of Madras case in 1950, you will see that the government had banned the articles written by the petitioner, but the Supreme Court held that the freedom of speech must be granted to him. Does my client not deserve that his right to freedom of speech be granted to him?
Objection, Your Honor. I request the court to not move forward with this, as the case being discussed here is about the depiction of violence, gore elements, and the usage of words. But the Ramesh Thapar case was about the discussion of the government schemes in the newspaper, and just the word rape or assault would have been enough. What was the need for a detailed description of it?
Mr. Arjun, whatever you have to say, please come to the stand and say it.
Just rape, like it's nothing more than a scratch or a bad haircut. As if it does not leave scars that do not fade from our memory. Let me tell you what just rape means. It's a woman walking home with her keys between her fingers because the world taught her that safety was just a fantasy. It's a girl being told to cover up, not because she wants attention, but because if something happens, everyone will blame her. It's waking up in the middle of the night, heart pounding because her body still remembers something her mind is trying to forget. It's men like you tossing around the word like it doesn't mean broken trust, shame she didn't deserve, and a world that keeps telling her to move on like it's nothing. Just rape. It's never just rape. It's the girl who didn't report it because she knew the first question would be, what were you wearing? It's the woman who walks into a room full of men and wonders, who can I trust here? What if all of them are the same? It's every damn time a survivor had to see her rapist live his life freely, while she had to rebuild her life from scratch. And then people like you make it harder for them to speak out, for them to heal. Their pain is real. My book voices out their trauma and pain. And by banning my book, you're not only restricting my freedom of speech, but it includes theirs too. And if you feel ashamed to talk about it, then I'm sorry to say it looks like you're a part of the problem.
The court will give the verdict on 25/7/25. The court has carefully read the book and has come to the conclusion that it is well within Arjun's right to freedom of expression to publish this book, and the court orders the government to lift the ban on the book. The court also encourages women to voice out such incidents and